We are just under 2 weeks away from WrestleMania 39 on Saturday, April 1 and Sunday, April 2. So WWE has been scrambling to tie up every feud that will be featured on the card. Roman Reigns made an appearance tonight to address his upcoming match with Cody Rhodes. We also saw Logan Paul host an episode of Impulsive TV. And Montez Ford took on United States Heavyweight Champion Austin Theory in singles action. Let's take a look at what happened on tonight's show, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined, as always, by good old MF Michael Fletcher. We are awaiting the presence of the Phenom, Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we hope to have him back with us Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness. And unfortunately, due to work commitments beyond her control, the first lady of our show, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson, will not be joining us this evening. But she did advise that she will be back on Friday, and she will also be back with us next Monday night as we kick off WrestleMania week next week. And we'll have more on that at the end of the show. But for right now, let's dive right on in. Monday Night Raw, the penultimate Monday Night Raw, the second to last Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania. And it was live tonight from the Scottrade Center in St. Louis, Missouri, the home of the NHL St. Louis Blues. And we started it off in-ring segment. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, fresh off their emotional reunion this past Friday night on SmackDown in Kansas City. Interrupted by the Usos and MF and everyone out there. Tonight, the long-awaited and rumored match is now a reality. They made it official. They threw it down. They didn't waste any time. They made it official. WrestleMania, the Usos will defend the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. All right. It didn't take long for Owens to issue a challenge for the tag titles at WrestleMania. The Usos accepted before rushing the ring to begin a brawl. Jimmy barely saved Jay from taking a haluva kick. They grabbed some steel chairs, but a handful of officials came out to break up the fight. And then you notice backstage, the Solo Sikoa was shown arriving with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Usos went to the back to end the segment. This played out exactly as everyone expected it to, but it was still fun. Both teams played their roles well. This is going to be a great match at WrestleMania on a card loaded with them. KO and Sami have had so many breakups and makeups, but this one is definitely the best. The crowd was so excited to see them together. And the Usos did not get nearly as much heat as expected when they came out. But other than that, you definitely have to consider this one of the segments of the night for sure. So there isn't really much more for me to add on to this. MF, it took a long time to get there, but we finally got there. The match we've all been waiting for and wanting. It's now official. Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, undisputed tag team championship at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and the thing is like we said, the long-awaited storytelling that Triple H has been working on has finally happened, and it doesn't get any better than this. So, I mean, I'm excited. I think it's incredible, and I think we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. So, we'll have to see how it plays out, and it's gonna be really interesting. There are some rumors that this might be the main event of night one. There's rumors that it could be Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, the main event of night one for WrestleMania. We know night two, the main event's gonna be Roman versus Cody for the undisputed WWE Universal title. We know that. But as far as the night one main event goes, there's a lot of rumors what it could be. And there's two matches right now in the forefront. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair because of Rhea winning the Royal Rumble match. But This match here also has been getting a lot of consideration for main event of night one of WrestleMania because of the flawless and damn near perfection of a storyline that Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and the entire bloodline has been giving for the last few months. So for this is going to be a heck of a match and one hell of a payoff, to say the very least. So we'll wait and see how it plays out. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. Now we get into our first match of the night, and MF will start it off. You remember last week in Providence, we saw Austin Theory go one-on-one with Angelo Dawkins of the Street Profits. Tonight, Austin Theory, the United States Heavyweight Champion, went one-on-one with the other half of the Street Profits, Montez Ford. And Austin Theory wins the match, 8 minutes and 50 seconds, A-Town down. MF, Austin Theory, clean sweep of the Street Profits. Angelo last week in Providence, Montez in St. Louis tonight.
Yeah, and what it means is he's getting momentum heading to Mania. He still is on that hot streak. He has not been cooled off yet, and now he is just literally 13 nights, 12 nights away from possible immortality by fighting the GOAT, the greatest of all time, our generation of Hulk Hogan, our generation of Bruno Sammartino, our generation of Ric Flair, whatever generation that you guys have followed in wrestling from the 1950s to the 1960s to the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, whatever generation your greatest wrestler was, this man is without a doubt the GOAT of our generation. John Cena is the golden boy of WWE. He was the flag bearer of WWE, you know, from wanting the Ruthless Aggression era to, you know, you could even say the PG era. Whatever you may feel, whatever you may believe, JBL calls it Big Fight John. Every time he's been in a big battle or a marquee battle, you've always seen Cena shine the best. And now Austin Theory has a chance to be made at WrestleMania. You know, they call it the Showcase of the Immortals. And we always talk about, and I'm not trying to be all hype man. Don't get me twisted here. But I'm just saying, every time he has stepped up, Austin Theory has been the guy that everybody thinks is, oh, is he going to be the one? Is he going to be this? Is he going to be that? Is he the next? You know, whatever you want to say. At the end of the day, this will be one of those type of battles, one of those type of games. It's going to be a match to see. Theory winning it is about maybe 3 stars, and it was a solid match. But like I said, it's all about getting the momentum and knowing what's on the other side. The battle that he has to now go up against with the one and only John Cena, he better be ready for the fight of his life, because it's not just his career that's on the line. This is, without a doubt, the biggest wrestling match ever. Florio, it's yours.
Sounded hype man to me, but I don't care. I love it. You know how much I love you, hype man, MF. You know how much because every time you do it, it just gets me more excited for whatever match or event it is. And we're on the precipice here of a WrestleMania that could, you know, if all goes well, could end up being one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. It could give 17 a run for its money. It could give 19 a run for its money.
30 a run for its money. 24, yeah.
26, 28. and 30, 31. You get the gist. So, and here's one of the reasons why. I mean, let me just get into this. But first, as far as the match is concerned, I agree. This was a solid 3-star effort. Let me say it like this, though. These two men battled during the Elimination Chamber match for the U.S. title last month, but this was a non-title bout. Even so, if Montez had won, he would have had a good argument for a future title shot. The champ was aggressive right out of the gate, took control for the first few minutes by grounding Ford so he couldn't use his speed or agility. And as the match progressed, Ford was able to get in more offense, and it ended up turning into a highly competitive bout between two of the best young athletes on the roster. But it was Austin Theory scoring the win with the A-Town down. Ford was stomping a mud hole in Theory in the corner. Stone Cold would be proud. And the crossbody Ford hit right after the commercial break was nuts. Solid 3 stars. There is absolutely no question about that. So, yeah, WrestleMania, biggest match of Austin Theory's career. You could also say his life. When you're going up against, yes, John Cena, who drew comparisons. A lot of people considered John Cena the modern day Hulk Hogan. And you can certainly make an argument for that. I think we've argued that on our show many of times over the years. Cena is like, a Hulk Hogan, like a Bruno Sammartino. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, GOAT of his era. Stone Cold and The Rock and the whole nine. He's one of the. I'll take it a bit of a step further here. John Cena is one of the greatest final bosses in the history of the business. He's not the greatest right now. That's Roman. Roman is the final boss of final bosses right now. Roman is the epitome of the words final boss, and I'll have more on that at the end of the show, but or at the end of this review rather. But Cena is one of the was the greatest final boss before Roman came in. I mean, everything Cena has done. I mean, the only thing left for Cena is just to give him the keys to the Hall of Fame because he's going to be there. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it next year because, next year's the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. If you want a hell of a headliner for next year's class, it could certainly be him. Heck, it could be The Rock. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But I know it's going to be a massive name next year. I wouldn't be surprised. But anywho, Theory's in for the fight of his life, and he wins this. It's the biggest win of his career. It's even bigger than winning the title twice. So, and I'm going to go on the record. I think he's going to. And we'll have more on that 10 nights from now. Thursday night, March 30th. Very special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN, which we'll address at the end of the show in our future content. But a solid match here. 3 stars, no question about it. Unfortunately, we do have a cutout here, of course. Well, some other things came out here. There was some backstage stuff with the Bloodline in the backstage area. Adam Pearce with Byron Saxton. And they announced, as you know, there will be WrestleMania showcase matches, Fatal 4-Way, tag team style match. And we noticed there's qualifying matches on the women's side, not on the men's side. We already have our 4. 2 teams from Raw and 2 teams from SmackDown. Representing Raw, you've got the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, and the Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. And from SmackDown, you've got Braun Strowman and Ricochet, and you also have the Viking Raiders. So there's your 4. We still only have the 1 on the women's side. That's Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan from SmackDown, as we saw this past Friday night. All right. And then from there, we had it was Omos against Mustafa Ali. Omos, delicious squash, 1 minute. This was a dud. No question about it. This was the worst fight of the night. So we're not even gonna address that. Then we had the live edition of Logan Paul, Impulsive TV. Brought the heel heat. He got the heel heat like we all knew he would. Let me tell you, if he had been in Providence last week, he would have been booed right out of the building. Trust us, he would have. No, there's no way anybody would have cheered him, no doubt. And he went after the sport team. He went after the St. Louis Rams. He said, we would leave like the St. Louis Rams. Yeah, that drew the heel heat, no doubt about that. And he also let us know that his match with Seth Rollins will be on night one. It will be on WrestleMania Saturday, which happens to be his birthday. It's his 28th birthday. He'll be turning 28 on April 1st when he goes up against Seth Rollins. And then Seth Rollins was in the production truck. He was tinkering with Logan Paul's microphone. Definitely reminds me a lot of D-Generation X back in 2006 when they did the same thing to Vince. We all remember how funny that was. And then Seth Rollins came out, and yeah, just like in Providence, they sang along with the theme song. And I'll say it like this: not the best, to be honest with you. Fine for what it was. Logan Paul was annoying, but the brawl was fun, but it felt like filler before their match at WrestleMania. And it was all right for what it was. So we're not even gonna, we're not gonna get too much into that. But Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, WrestleMania night one. So there you have it. Then we had, we go from one heat magnet to another heat magnet. Maybe an even bigger heat magnet. Dominic Mysterio. Damian Priest in his corner went one-on-one with Johnny Gargano, who had Dexter Lumis in his corner. Dominic Mysterio wins the match, 10 minutes and 40 seconds. And an interesting note here, Dom said that the Mysterio family is going to be in Las Vegas this Friday night on SmackDown. Ooh, okay. First, the match. Decent match, but it seemed unnecessary to have Gargano lose now while he is in a feud with Grayson Waller in NXT. Of course, he will face Grayson Waller at Stand and Deliver. Dom has definitely made improvements when it comes to working as a heel. He has seemed more intense in the last couple of weeks. Johnny's Tope Suicida always looks great. And the way Dom hit the mat after taking a suplex in the corner looked rough. 3.25 stars for this effort here. And so one of the fights of the night for sure. You could probably say second fight of the night, maybe even the fight of the night. I wouldn't be mad at you if you made an argument for fight of the night. But anyways, MF, solid match between Dom and Johnny Wrestling. Dom wins in 10 minutes and 40 seconds. But you heard what he said afterward. He said that the Mysterio family is going to be in Vegas Friday night, and so is he. I think we've got the powder keg here finally.
Not only that, but he also said that he was going to talk to his mother, Angie, to request the match, to try to convince Ray to take the fight, but he's going to go through her to get the match, because Ray is not budging. He's not doing it, but he's going to force the hand on Angie to accept it on Ray's behalf for this match at WrestleMania. I don't know how he's going to do it. I don't know what he's going to pull, but I'm pretty sure that it might be something enough that we might get the payoff. But we'll see. One thing's for sure, it's going to be very interesting to watch. So, yeah. As far as the match goes, I totally agree. 3.25 stars. I thought they did it pretty well. And, yeah, nothing more to say. So, Anthony, back to you.
All right. All right, MF. Let's see what's up next here. I know some fans. I mean, there are some fans that were hoping that they would have saved it for the Hall of Fame. But this match is big enough that it should be advertised on one of the weekly TVs that will be watched by far more viewers than the Hall of Fame ceremony. And we'll see what happens. So, and then we had that very scary Edge backstage segment, like he did when he was in the Judgment Day. That scary thing. Oh man, I still get creeps seeing that. But he said Edge told Balor, leave Finn at home and bring the demon. I'd like to meet him. Gee, I wonder what that's gonna mean. Edge versus the demon inside Hell in a Cell?
I don't think it's gonna be typical Edge either. I think it's gonna be the Brood Edge versus the demon.
Ooh.
Because in order to go into a Hell in a Cell, you gotta be at. This isn't just any normal fight, and you know that, Anthony. You gotta have a little bit of twisted and sickness in the head to go into that demonic structure. So, yeah. So I think we could get Brood Edge versus the demon, Finn Balor, and that. And you know, the demon hardly ever loses when he's in demon form. So that's why. So we'll see. It's going to be a heck of a fight, but we could get a number of ways. This could go a number of ways, you know?
Yeah. Next up, we had a 2-for-1 deal. Rhea Ripley came out, cut a promo, another promo on Charlotte Flair, getting ready for that SmackDown Women's Championship match at WrestleMania, but she was interrupted by Damage Control? Damage Control. This is interesting. And it actually leads into a match, an impromptu match with Rhea Ripley squaring off against Bayley. But there was more to this. The women's tag team champions, Becky Lynch and Lita, along with Trish Stratus, they came out, and all hell breaks loose with those three and Damage Control. But at the end of the day, Rhea Ripley scores the win over Bayley via the Riptide in an even 11 minutes. So, MF, so-so promo, but a good match between two former Raw Women's Champions, Rhea Ripley and Bayley. And of course, we got more this time around from Damage Control, Becky, Lita, and Trish than we did last week, despite that backstage stuff.
Yeah, this time they really kind of played up to the whole thing, and like we said, this is going to be very interesting to watch. Look, I'll openly admit this. Rhea is without a doubt one of the most devastating individuals in WWE. And I think a lot of people will openly admit that we believe that Rhea probably will become the next champion at WrestleMania. Now, once you get into the story itself, it was a little bit of a right field move to have Damage Control come out there, but Damage Control is basically like, you know what, you're marking on our territory. You're coming out here talking all this stuff, and Damage Control wants to keep their momentum. But if you notice, Bayley takes a devastating loss here. So how's that going to play out? I don't know. But it was a 3.5 star fight. It was an excellent match. There's really nothing more to add. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. Just one moment here. All right. Match. I mean, I'll give it about another 3.25 here. I mean, The match had a relatively slow pace because they weren't really trying to make this the most competitive singles encounter on the show. Lita, Becky, and Trish showed up right as the show cut to a break. They watched and prevented Damage Control from getting involved as Rhea was able to score the win with the Riptide. There was nothing wrong with the match, but it also didn't stand out much. Ripley looking like a dominant force is always a good thing, though. But I will give it 3.25 stars. The look of fear on Io Sky's face when Rhea scowled at her was hilarious. It feels like WWE might want to test Rhea as a babyface. I mean, she always gets a great reaction from the crowd. And why else would she be fighting a heel for no reason? And there are so many great gifs of WWE superstars eating popcorn, and Becky Lynch created another one during this match. So, and that's why MF has always been a big fan of Becky, not just for the beauty, but also her in-ring ability and just her all-around character. And I can understand why. So
she was that would have been me. Like Becky feels like one of us. She is. She's like one of us. She just could kick back, relax, chill. The popcorn eating. That like typical Monday night for her. So that's why I sensed with that moment. I know what you're talking about, Florio.
All right, MF, I got you. So, all right. So, let's see. Let's see, what else do we have here? Then we had, a little preview of that that Fatal 4-Way WrestleMania Showcase men's match. But before that, we do have we had a Hall of Fame announcement. Another inductee for the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2023 was announced. And it's a rare celebrity inductee. We had an inductee announced for the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame. None other than the late, great Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman is being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2023. And, he is a celebrity. So because of that, there will not be, any championships or accomplishments or anything like that. Andy Kaufman set to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2023, as reported by Variety earlier this afternoon. Kaufman will be inducted alongside this year's fellow honorees that currently include Rey Mysterio and the Great Muta. Kaufman is best known for his career on the stage and screen, most famously starring as Laca Gravis in the hit sitcom Taxi from 1978 to 1983. He made his mark on the world of professional wrestling, however, when he declared himself the intergender wrestling champion of the world, offering money to any woman who could pin him as part of his act. And this famously led to a feud with fellow WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler in the Continental Wrestling Association in Memphis, Tennessee. Despite Lawler and Kaufman being friends, they successfully convinced the audience they were bitter enemies. Kaufman claimed that Lawler broke his neck when Lawler performed a pile driver on him, with Kaufman appearing in a neck brace thereafter. The two made an appearance together on Late Night with David Letterman on July 28, 1982, during which they traded insults before Lawler slapped Kaufman, knocking Kaufman out of his chair. In addition to this and his work on Taxi, Kaufman toured comedy clubs and colleges and also appeared on the first season of Saturday Night Live. He later recorded the ABC special Andy's Funhouse, which aired in 1979. Kaufman also infamously appeared on the ABC comedy variety series Fridays, with Kaufman staging a fight on screen during his first appearance on the show. He died from lung cancer on May 16, 1984, despite being a lifelong non-smoker. Kaufman's life and career were given the movie treatment in 1999 with Jim Carrey playing him in the film Man on the Moon. Jerry the King Lawler and David Letterman appeared as themselves in the film. It has not yet been decided who will induct Andy Kaufman into the Hall of Fame. Jerry the King Lawler has frequently attended and hosted the Hall of Fame ceremonies over the years, but he suffered a stroke in early February, and it is unclear if he will be healthy enough to attend. So, a long overdue celebrity inductee, which Andy Kaufman is. he joins the likes of Pete Rose and William the Refrigerator Perry, and of course, alongside of Bob Uecker and Drew Carey, Mike Tyson, Donald Trump, and Mr. T, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Snoop Dogg, Kid Rock, William Shatner, and Ozzy Osbourne. Now you can add Andy Kaufman to that list, and when it comes to the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame. And the most logical choice for his inductor would obviously be Jerry the King Lawler because of the history that they had. But, like I said, Jerry Lawler suffered a stroke February the 7th. And it's unclear if he's going to be medically able to attend. I'm praying that he is. I mean, he makes the most logical sense. But if he can't do it, another name that comes to mind, and this would be a major get if they were to get him, what about David Letterman? I mean, David Letterman's got history with him. I mean, it was on his show that the feud with him and Jerry Lawler really picked up and intensified. And one other name would be Danny DeVito, because Danny DeVito, of course, was on Taxi when he played Louis De Palma, and maybe even consider bringing in the cast of Taxi. I don't know the surviving members of that cast, that is, but nonetheless, Andy Kaufman going into the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame, well deserved, long overdue. So not much more to say. MF Andy Kaufman joining the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame as announced today.
Yeah, this was, and I have to admit, this was a little bit of a surprise. I don't think none of us even thought it was going to be Andy Kaufman. But when word got out, it made logical sense. I thought, you know what? He did do a lot for professional wrestling, and that rivalry with him and Jerry Lawler did put wrestling on the map. Yes, I think if there was a guy that would induct Andy, would be Jerry Lawler. I think that would have been the right choice and everything else. The other person would be David Letterman, or somebody from Taxi, like you said, like Danny DeVito, or one person that I thought of, Jim Carrey, the guy who actually played Andy Kaufman in the movie Man on the Moon.
What a get that would.
I mean, I think that would be a great thing to do and to honor. It's going to be very interesting to watch. It's going to be very tough to see how they're going to play this, but those would be the guys that I would say. But for what it's worth, yeah, we'll see. So, Anthony, it's yours.
All right. So, I'm sure we'll find out soon enough, and then from there we had, like I said, the preview of that 4-way men's WrestleMania showcase match, as there was Ricochet with Braun Strowman in his corner, squaring off against Chad Gable with Otis in his corner. Winner of the match, 10 minutes and 25 seconds. Score one for SmackDown, Ricochet. Ricochet wins the match, 10 minutes, 25 seconds. MF, your boy, half man, half amazing, does it again.
Yeah, this was a good match. This was a solid fight. I'm gonna say that I'll give this about maybe another 3-star battle. It was amazing. It was everything it needed it to be. The storyline was solid. The battle was fine, and I'm happy with the big win. So there's really nothing more to say. So Anthony, it's yours.
Early momentum to Ricochet and Strowman when it comes to that 4-way match. Don't be surprised if they end up winning that thing.
If you're talking about for a SmackDown crew, yes, and I would say Street Profits for Raw. That would be my pick. If you want somebody for Raw, Street Profits. If you want for SmackDown, you found it with Ricochet and Strowman.
But don't sleep on the Viking Raiders either.
Oh, absolutely not.
They've been getting some big wins lately.
Yeah, and Valhalla is an X factor. She is an X factor in this match.
Yes. Yeah, the Viking wife, Valhalla, absolutely. But the long shot would be Alpha Academy because of this ongoing stuff with Otis and the Maximum Male Model stuff. But it is what it is. But fast. I know I might surprise some people, but I'm actually going to call this the fight of the night. I'm actually going to give this 3.5 stars because this was fast paced and featured some technical sequences, high flying moves, stiff strikes, and some impressive chemistry from two guys who have not been in the ring together that much. Ricochet scored the win in what was easily the most entertaining fight of the night. The shooting star press he hit to end the match was a thing of beauty. Alpha Academy is a great team, but putting Otis with Maximum Male models might be what saves that gimmick. I don't know. Standing shooting star press is one of the most impressive moves Ricochet has in his arsenal. So there isn't much more to say on that. So 3.5 stars, fight of the night. And then we had the women's tag team match. But, you know, as they always like to say at times, card subject to change. And we had a change in this match. We still had the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, and her WrestleMania opponent, Asuka. They teamed up against Chelsea Green, and initially it was supposed to be Carmella. But Carmella out, Piper Niven in. So it was Bianca Belair and Asuka versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And Bianca Belair and Asuka win the match in 6 minutes and 50 seconds. But we finally got the payoff. Asuka turned on Bianca. Asuka laid her out. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Asuka attacked Bianca from behind to firmly establish herself as the heel in this feud. Despite it, the crowd is still going to cheer for her, but this was definitely heel behavior. Match was fine, but what came after it was the only thing you really need to see. This was about a 2.25, 2.5 star effort, but MF, the long-term storytelling, it paid off here. Asuka finally attacked Bianca, definitely showed that heel tendency, and yeah, the new Asuka is here and has finally arrived.
Yeah, and we were waiting for it. We knew eventually it was gonna happen. We were just waiting to see when or where it was gonna come about, and sure enough, here it is. Now we got it right before our very eyes. Yeah, it was a solid match. I would say about 2.5 to 3, but the ultimate payoff was Asuka turning and doing what she did. So we'll see how it plays out from there. And yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
And then the final, the main event segment of the show, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, alongside of Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. Before that, the only one thing was announced, and that was for next week, and that was Brock Lesnar and Omos are going to have a weigh-in. So, yeah, that ought to be interesting. All right. Then we had Roman Reigns along with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. He did his whole acknowledge me shtick in the whole 9. And then right after that, cue Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out and they cut a promo, and MF, I don't think there's anything left to say except this was the segment of the night right here. Cody and Roman. You know, we've been waiting for this bit, another build we were waiting for. I mean, it really started when Cody showed up in Washington, D.C. on that SmackDown. And, Cody cut that great promo. We saw it last week in Providence. And then tonight, Cody and Roman, another well-done segment with these two.
Yeah. It's everything that it needs to be. It was everything that we were looking for, everything that we wanted, and this was amazing. To me, I thought they did an incredible job. Like you said, this leads to yet another great thing heading into WrestleMania. And now we're just waiting for the ultimate payoff at the end. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Anthony, this has been incredible, and it just adds to another chapter of this great rivalry.
Yeah, it was another strong verbal segment involving Roman and Cody. And it's fun seeing the typically unflappable Roman Reigns being flustered to the point that he dropped the mic and left the ring, with the idea being that Cody's words got to him. And we're all excited, but for me, this is the match I'm looking the most forward to. I'm really looking forward to this match. My guess, and I'm still going on the record, there are still some that still think Roman's actually going to find a way yet again. But for me, I still think Cody wins the title. But the great thing is that it feels like there's more mystery than usual regarding it. I mean, the obvious choice right now is Cody wins the belts, but you never know. That they could pull a swerve and they could have Roman win again. I don't know, but nonetheless, good chapter here, and did it do enough to send it fully home? No. I think we need at least one more in-ring segment with both men before Mania to really cap this off right. Either next Monday on Raw in Phoenix or next Friday in LA in Staples. Either one of those would be fine. So I think it needs one more, even though it was really good. Reigns and Rhodes have such an interesting dynamic. Both men are generational talents, but they're completely different in every way. So that's all I can really say on that. So overall review, I'll be honest. I think the show in Providence was better, but this was still a good show. It was still a solid show. I'll still give this around 7, maybe 7.5 for this. I mean, we had a few good matches here and there. We had some little more newsworthy moments here. We finally got the tag team title matchup made official with the Usos against KO and Sammy. Asuka finally turned on Bianca, and Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. They made that official for night 1, and Cody and Roman with another very good segment. Even though I still think they need at least one more, maybe in Phoenix next Monday or the night before in LA. I don't know. We'll have to find out. But the show quality went down a little bit near the end, but I thought it was still a productive show when it came to forwarding the WrestleMania programs. So that's really all I can say on it. So 7.5 for me. MF, your thoughts, and then I will set the table for this Friday's Impact Plus special, Sacrifice.
All right. I agree with everything you just said. I'm gonna go 7.5. I thought they did a really good job with it, and yeah, like you said, they're still building it, leading to WrestleMania. I think they did an incredible job. So there's really nothing more to add. So nothing more to say. And yeah, Florio, go ahead. Impact Plus.
Yep. Special Tony's take, and a matter of fact, there's going to be a lot of special Tony's takes coming up over the next few weeks, starting this week. And we're going to start it off with Sacrifice. The 14th event under the Sacrifice chronology. It'll be airing on Impact Plus. It will also be on Fight TV, and it will also be on YouTube for those who have that Impact Insider membership. It'll take place this Friday night from the St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Impact's first show in Canada since 2019, if you can imagine that. That obviously because of COVID, obviously, but nonetheless, we got the card, and we'll go from bottom to top. So this is what you can expect this Friday night on Sacrifice on Impact Plus, and Fight TV and YouTube for the Impact Insider members. One-on-one matchup. We got PCO going one-on-one with Kenny King, a battle of former Honor No More brethren. Joe Hendry will defend the Impact Digital Media Championship against Brian Myers. By the way, when it comes to PCO and Kenny King, I'm going to go with PCO to win that match. Joe Hendry against Brian Myers for the Impact Digital Media Championship. I say Joe Hendry retains the title. Tough one to call here. Jonathan Gresham goes one-on-one with Speedball Mike Bailey, a return match from No Surrender. That was on the pre-show. At least this will be on the main show this time around, as it should be, because it's worthy of the main show. I'm going to say Speedball wins, and then maybe they do a rubber match at the Rebellion pay-per-view next month. Impact World Tag Team Championship on the line. The champions, Ace Austin and Chris Bay of the Bullet Club, to defend against TMDK, Bad Dude Tito, and Shane Haste. They're obviously New Japan guys. I'm sure MF knows these guys very well. So they'll be going up. They'll be battling for the Impact Tag Team Championship. Knockouts action. We got the Virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo, going one-on-one with Giselle Shaw. But where Giselle Shaw goes, watch out for Jay Vidal and Savannah Evans. Trey Miguel is going to defend the Impact X Division Championship. At first, they announced it as a mystery opponent. Well, it's not a mystery anymore. They actually announced his opponent. Trey Miguel is going to defend the X Division Championship against formerly of the Lucha House Party in WWE, Lince Dorado. How about that? So what a matchup that's going to be. As far as the tag team title goes, I'm going to say Austin and Bay successfully defend. I'm going to say Deonna Purrazzo beats Giselle Shaw. And I got Trey Miguel successfully defending the X Division Championship. But Lince Dorado is going to give him a hell of a fight. And what is being dubbed as a busted open match, Tommy Dreamer one-on-one with Bully Ray. I'm going to go with Bully Ray to win that one. And then the two big main events. First, the return match from Hard to Kill in January for the rematch we've all waited for the Knockouts Championship. Mickie James defending against the Knockouts she took that title from at Hard to Kill in January. Jordynne Grace. I would not be surprised if Mickie comes out of that still the champion. And then the main event of the evening, a 6-man tag team match. Impact World Heavyweight Champion Josh Alexander teams up with Frankie Kazarian and Rich Swann to take on the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, and their partner, Kushida, Time Machine. Of course, this obviously will be a little sample of what you're going to get when Josh Alexander and Kushida headline that Multiverse United show on the 30th. So, and I'm going to preview that show next week. So, like I said, we got a lot of special Tony Stakes coming up over these next few weeks. So there isn't much more for me to add to this. So I'm going to go with Alexander and Kazarian and Swann to win that match. So there you have it. That's the card for Sacrifice this Friday night on Impact Plus. So with that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. As always, we'll be back with you Wednesday night. MF, I'm sure it's going to be the same times for our shows this week.
Yes.
Okay. Wednesday night, 10:30. MF will have it. Braves Fan 95. Wednesday Night Madness, as it's the usual. It will be NXT as well as AEW Dynamite. We'll get into both of those on Wednesday. Thursday, TXN Sports World. A lot of things going down here. We got the World Baseball Classic. We'll let you know who won the World Baseball Classic, the championship game tomorrow night. It'll be Team USA versus Japan. What a game that's going to be tomorrow night. And on Thursday, we'll recap who won it. We will also preview the 2023 Major League Baseball season. We got that on tap. We also have our preview of week 6 of the XFL. And then from there, 2 big coaching moves in college basketball. Rick Pitino is now the new head coach of St. John's. And unfortunately, Friartown, our worst nightmare, has become a reality. Ed Cooley is leaving. He is going to Georgetown. It is official. So we'll address both of those. And then we'll close out the show with our continuing coverage of the NCAA tournament. So that's the show for Thursday, TXN Sports World, 10:30. And then Friday, that's actually also going to be at 10:30 again on Friday night, because of the fact that Rampage is going to be on Saturday night this week. So we're going to do another special edition of Cerebral Smack Talk, where MF and I, and hopefully Bullock and Geedy will also we'll get into Friday night SmackDown from Las Vegas, and then from there, MF, you got a rare Mikey's Mindset coming, because you're going to be setting the table for the next RWA show. It's RWA time once again, as RWA Cash is King going down this Sunday at the Our Lady of Rosary Church, the function hall, where they had the Renegade Rumble last month, and MF will set the table for that, and we'll also get into our continuing coverage of the NCAA tournament on that night as well. So that's loaded. All right, and before we wrap it up, let's set the table for WrestleMania week that's going down next week. It's going to start next Monday night with Ridiculously Raw, as it will be as we will review the final Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania, and we will also, and then another special Tony's Take. I'm going to give you the results of the Sacrifice show, and I'm also going to preview Impact Multiverse United, this crossover show with Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling that's going to go down on Thursday, March 30th. I'm going to preview that show on that night. And then on Wednesday, it will be Wednesday Night Madness, as we're going to review the final NXT before Stand and Deliver, and we'll also get into AEW Dynamite. And then on Thursday, no TXN Sports World. It will be a special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN, as we are going to preview both Impact, as we're going to be previewing NXT Stand and Deliver and the two-night spectacular known as WrestleMania 39. No show on Friday because we're going to be taking that night off so we can enjoy the Hall of Fame ceremony. So there you go. That's the programming. Very exciting future content coming up over the next couple of weeks, and that's it. So until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness over on the MF channel, Racefair 95. This is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the Phenom Michael Volek, and the first lady of our show, the Twisted Angel Edie Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. Remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody. Bye.